Danny, it's an absolute pleasure to catch up with you today. Could you maybe just give us a bit of a background about you and your role at Premier?
I'm Danni. I'm the Director of Change and Business Development. I've been at Premier for 17 years and I'm a part business owner with Premier. We do everything from cleaning, security, grounds maintenance, pest control. We have a help desk function and I'm predominantly responsible for how we run the business, so i.e. how we look at systems, integration and obviously the environmental impact of our business.
Obviously, we've been working with you guys in terms of understanding what your carbon footprint is and how that impacts how you guys operate and the impact you have on your clients. But what does sort of overall sustainability mean to Premier and why is it important to you guys?
I think it's really important to us because I think at the end of the day, our customers look to us to be the kind of like best in class service. You know, they look to us to obviously reduce their carbon footprint and how we impact their sort of daily services. So it's obviously working with them on a day-to-day basis and looking at the way that we look at the chemicals that they use. Do we go chemical-free cleaning? Do we look at the ways in regards to obviously the cleaners, what time they come in on a night time into the properties, how the customers use their electricity, the equipment that we use, and different run times on things. So that's what we try and work with, and our customers are, really important to us, and we have a massive impact to all of our, staff that work for us.
I know you guys have made commitments as a business. One was to achieve carbon neutrality by 2028, and the other was to actually achieve the net zero status by 2040. What was the thought process behind actually making those commitments?
I think everybody can say, can't they, that it's because of government legislative changes. Everybody says that. I think from our thing, it's about who we are as a company. We're really important to us in regards to what we do in our business. Obviously has an impact for our children in the future, and that means a lot to us as a company.
And it's great that you're making those commitments so that you actually have a time frame. It's not just a blanket statement. It's this is what we plan to do and this is how we're going to do that. From your perspective, what role does NCZ play?
Okay, so you obviously monitor us in regards to obviously all of our impacts. So you look at all of our kind of like how we spend our gas, our electric, our vehicle movements,
absolutely.
Our hotels, how the people travel across the business, and you feed all that information back to us, so that obviously we can look at that and obviously put that forward back to our clients.
So, I mean, you're absolutely right. Now that we are collecting and pulling together that official baseline so that you understand the specifics around your footprint. The idea there is to then more successfully target the areas of your footprint that you can influence.
Yes.
And that's the outcome that you're looking to
and
achieve.
I think that's massive to us as a company as well, because sometimes obviously you get waylaid, don't you, with your day-to-day business, and we need somebody like you to be able to support us to obviously drive that forward.
And then everyone's winning. You're able to get a far better understanding, but then you're going to take the appropriate action that's going to drive the biggest level of success.
Yeah, 100%. Because in regards to our business, we're looking at how the customers use the chemicals or how our staff get to the sites. You might look at something completely different and send us in a different direction, and that's important to us at the end of the day. So I think obviously one's chemicals, probably I would say so. Obviously with a lot of our customers, we look after lots of customers across the UK. Everybody's always looking at the chemical-free cleaning and how that works, or chemical, environmentally safe products. Because number one, the deliveries of going out to customers' buildings, you don't want them every month. You've got the deliveries going out every single month. You want obviously those customers to have maybe a quarterly visit, reducing the box quantities that goes to customers. The plastics, plastics is huge. We've been looking at a thing branding called Soap to O. They're obviously a great company. They have little pellets, you create soap, and it's literally you send a box to the client, which then you put water in, it makes soap, and
rather than transporting
all the water and all the chemicals and everything that goes along with it.
One of the biggest, if not the biggest, area of your footprint is the supply chain.
It's the supply chain. We work a lot with our supply chain. I personally do quite a lot of that myself anyway, to be honest with you. So we work with companies that we know use either environmentally friendly products or how they obviously purchase their products. We obviously go through something called SMETA, which is an accreditation that we go through, which is about ethically sourcing and obviously how we obviously pay all of our staff and all that kind of stuff. So making sure that we do the right things by people. So it's really important to us to make sure that we've got companies that are like-minded like us. And if they're not, then we'll source other companies that are.
that round, what have been some of the unexpected benefits of understanding what your footprint is and putting the focus into the impact of the business?
So obviously in regards to when we've won contracts and things previously, then obviously we've looked at the way that the cleaners clean the building. Obviously if the cleaners go in from 6 till 9 and it's winter, you're running all the electricity, all the heating and all that kind of thing as well. So that's really important.
And I think it's an area that not everyone necessarily realises has an impact. I mean, if you're, are you cleaning inside or outside office hours?
Yes.
If it's outside of office hours, you're running the building.
It's a big impact. We're responsible for locking up, we're responsible for the heating, the electricity. Whereas if a customer can close a building down and walk out that door at 6 o'clock at night, then
you're not
times
adding
that by 52 weeks of the year, 5 days a week, that's a lot of money to run those cleaners on a night time in that property. But obviously we work really closely with our customers when we struggle to recruit, so we do quite a lot of recruitment drives locally with our clients as well. So because obviously we're looking for either the partner that obviously wants a few extra hours on a night time, or somebody that they know lives around the corner to reduce the carbon footprint because they're not having to travel too far to the buildings and things. So that's massive for us. So we do a lot of direct recruitment with our customers.
Brilliant. Yeah. Can you walk us through some of the key changes that you guys have made since starting this journey?
Yeah, I think obviously we're very conscientious now about the vehicles that we purchase.
Right.
Can people obviously double up in vehicles if they're going out to see customers? You know, can they catch a train? Like, there's lots of different ways that people can obviously reduce the carbon footprint. We try and either use that, or we obviously do the hybrid vehicles. I'm trying to think, so we do hybrid vehicles. So where we can do that. So we are very conscientious about, number one, what we purchase now. You know, where we're purchasing it from. Can we get something better? You know, are we purchasing 10 of the same product from 10 different suppliers? You know, all those kind of things, and it's important.
And it's true, because once you've understood where those emissions are coming from, then it's actually easier to understand the difference that is possible. What is your approach in terms of ethical sourcing and environmentally responsible sourcing? Like, how do you go about working with suppliers to make sure that you're doing that in the most environmentally
So, like I said, Smeeta earlier on, obviously they look at the way that where our costs are purchased from, where the yarns are, you know, making sure it's not coming from those third world countries that, you know, are paying people minimum pay rates. So we're very, you know, stringent on that in regards to where we buy things from. You know, we do look for more UK-based companies in regards to products that we purchase, and the cloths and the mops and things like that. It's very important. There was obviously a plastic source shortage not so long ago. You know, it's not something that's great that you want within your business. Unfortunately, we have to have it because of the mops and things like that. We are really conscientious where we purchase our products from.
So Danny, what's next for Premier in terms of your sustainability journey or your roadmap? What's next for you guys?
Okay, I think it's really important, like I said earlier, in regards to it's in us. So we've obviously set up a committee with our current client base to obviously feed back information on how we can help impact their, you know, their sustainability, and obviously reduce their carbon footprint, because we think we know all that's best. But I think collaborating with your clients is the most important thing that you can do, because, you know, they all work in different environments, because we don't just look after one particular sector. You know, we look after lots of different sectors, so it's really important to get their feedback.
Yeah, fabulous. And also, I know one thing we're looking to roll out is the carbon measured services, and being able to demonstrate to a client the impact that they're responsible for. So when someone is buying, you know, your cleaning service, and then you're able to turn around and say to that client, this is the footprint of our activity on your site, this is where it came from, and this is what we did about it.
Yeah, and it'd be amazing with that. And I think that's so important to our customers to be able to know that. And I think even from that quoting stage, where obviously originally put this quoting, you know, it's something that makes a massive difference to the clients. You know, it's so important for them to understand their impact, because how often do they tender? You know, if they're looking to reduce their carbon footprint, do they tender every 3 years or every year? Because obviously that has a massive impact to their business as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Any one of your customers, this is where the carbon measured services come in, because all of your customers are going to be sitting there going, how the hell am I going to get to net zero when most of my footprint's in the supply chain? So if you're part of the supply chain, just by working with you, they're helping to reduce their footprint.
So when our customers work with us, obviously we're already helping them drive their, you know, their carbon emissions down, because obviously we're so committed to making sure our carbon footprint's obviously reduced, that we're obviously having a massive impact to their business as well. So working with us is huge, and not only that, you know, obviously we'll have you alongside us as well.
Well, it's a really good point, because what most companies will struggle with is understanding how they're going to get to net zero. So if a company's sitting there looking at their footprint, realizing that 80% is sat in the supply chain, well, they don't control the supply chain. So if one of your customers is looking at you as part of their supply chain, and just by buying from you, they're going to reduce their footprint. So finally, what would you say to companies that are hesitant to invest in sustainability?
Who would want to be hesitant to invest in sustainability these days? You know, like at the end of the day, we're here living our life, the world's heating up, you know, it's beautifully hot outside today. You know, we have to make sure that there's a world here for the future. And I think if anybody was hesitant about working, you know, reducing their carbon footprint, then that's a sad situation to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Danni, thank you so much for giving us some time today. Really appreciate it.
It's been lovely. I've really enjoyed it.
Good fun. I think we deserve a drink now.
I think we should have a drink. I think so too.
Yeah.
Nice one.